there's a bit of an interest on it because companies like OpenAI, companies like Google and Facebook are racing to get a artificial intelligence out in the market. And Chatbot GPT by OpenAI was the first one. So I guess the question for you guys would be, should we be alarmed? Should we be concerned? What should you care? And why is this so important? David, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, we know at some point in time, there's going to be an image that's going to be put forth, and he will be demanding worship. And if not, you'll be excluded from everything in the world, maybe even your life, for not worshiping him. So that's where it ends for Christians, making that decision. But also this information and this changing in technology is happening so fast, and it's also so integrated with religion, integrated with liberal and progressive thought, which we already know with some things that propaganda through the media is changing the way people think and believe. And so this influence is only going to grow even much more deeply entrenched within society, and not just in the Western society, but all around the world. And the fast growth of people subscribing to this over in just a few months is incredible. So it's going to be an assault on personal liberties is what it will all come down to.
Yeah, artificial intelligence, specifically this one, Chatbot GPT, which is version 3, has taken really the world by storm, I guess you're going to call it, by the amount of users, and we'll go to Jay in a minute, amount of users it has. It took Google, it took Facebook years to get the amount of subscribers that are on Chatbot GPT. It took TikTok more than a month. It took, I think it was about a year. It took them to get to those numbers. That Chatbot GPT has millions now of subscribers, is not connected to the internet. This AI is able to respond and probably give you better results than a Google search, which basically people look at Google like God. They talk to Google more than they talk to God. They ask Google questions and it gives them an answer. Jay, the concern is, of course, here is it's a monopoly. It's the craziness and the frenzy of it. And how far can this go?
With the acceleration of the use of AI, you're going to see the accelerated rate of an alternate reality. We've discussed before how AI can be used to basically, make a person say anything. If they have a scan of their vocal patterns, they can make a person say whatever they want. And if they have a picture of the person, they can make a video of them doing whatever they want. If you think that there is injustice in the court systems now, imagine a world where the court allows video and sound evidence that has been manipulated by AI. That's where we're heading. It's an easy way to get rid of your opponents by making a video that discredits them. And it will be used at Christians at some point, for sure. Christian leaders, Christian ministers, and the way that we have this reactionary society now, it doesn't take much of a soundbite to turn the entire world against you instantly. In fact, if you're caught saying the wrong word, now you're canceled. There's nothing left for you. And if they can do that to a president, they can do that to a politician, they'll be using it against individual people.
Yeah, I think it's very scary. In fact, you talked about the reality. Before I go to Davey, Jay, I just wanted to ask you one more. How much of the reality do you think it's already in play? The false reality that AI has already, taken over social media. You have, fake personalities. They're not even real people that have millions of followers on Instagram, social media, and all that stuff. How much of that already is? People are influenced, of course, by video, social media platforms and stuff like that. How much of our world is already influence you think by AI? I mean, people do things according to, we know the advertising world spends millions of dollars to influence a certain decision. How much of that it's happened already?
I think we'd be uncomfortable with the amount that it's already happened. When you look at what's going on in Hollywood, in media, in advertisement, these tools are ubiquitous in forging marketing campaigns and influencing people.
Yeah, it's huge. Before we go to David, I wanted to read this. They asked the chatbot GPT some questions, about transgenderism. Should kids, what is a transgender person? Should kids go to transgender surgeries? Things about Hunter Biden, things about Donald Trump, things about Joe Biden. And it always seems to be a leftist Marxist ideology that's being pushed by the AI. They will write a poem about the Bidens, Hunter and Joe. It won't write a poem about Trump because he's such a controversial figure. It won't write a poem about Marjorie Taylor Greene here in the States, who's a controversial figure. So anybody who's on let's say the conservative right side, if you want to call it mildly, with Trump, middle ground, they will completely just basically say this is false information. We're not going to write anything on it. But people on the left, they will parade and love and promote. And so it's already giving you a false reality, a false reality of what's happening. David, what's your take on that? This is based on what David and Jay said. These are very scary propositions of what reality is and how people are influenced already.
Well, yeah, I think one of the scariest things was what David said, the ready acceptance of it. It's kind of like I was stunned. I only learned a couple of days ago just how the chat GPT has taken off so explosively. It's kind of like it eclipsed, as you were saying, Google, YouTube in a matter of months, what it took them years to do. So that willingness for people to accept that technology is the real concerning thing, because what else are they going to embrace? The fact that, look, this is just a tool of men. It's been programmed by people who are very left-leaning. So as you were saying, you're getting very left-leaning answers. But the fact that people are relying on it and going to it for answers is very concerning. But it shouldn't be surprising in a way, especially with the younger generation. They're already being groomed that way. We've had Siri, we've had Alexa, we've had, I forget the other one. They've all had their own little versions where people have had these little devices where they just ask them the answers. And instead of researching it out, finding out what's actually true. And how many times have we seen things revised on the internet? Things like Wikipedia. There'll be an entry, but then they've got to do a politically correct updated version. So they revise history all the time. So you're not finding out truth. And that's the scary thing, that people, they're being fed a lie, they're being fed an ideology, and they don't realize it. And they're not questioning. There's no critical thinking anymore, too. It's going to destroy what's left of critical thinking in the young. They've become way too reliant on it. And now we've even got churches and pastors relying on it, using it to create sermons. There was a website called Sermon AI. You can have your sermon written by this chat program.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In the style of the pastor you want. Like you can have it written in the style of Rick Warren and the likes. So we can all see where this is heading. It's heading towards the image of the beast. People will accept it. It'll be just another thing to them. Now, and one thing with modern technology, I work with modern technology every day, and every day there's a problem with them. Every day it malfunctions. There's always something wrong, and people are going to rely on technology. They're going to trust it for their savior.
Yep.
I guess they'll try it. They'll die trying. I suppose that's really where the end game is for them, is to have a utopia that is tech driven.